for those of you who don't know, I got diagnosed with cancer on my 33rd birthday, which was in December 2012. It wasn't the greatest birthday present ever. It's called Primary Peritoneal Cancer. It's a really rare form of cancer which affects the lining of the stomach, and it's linked to epithelial cell cancer, and basically it's very closely related to ovarian cancer. And it's only when they've excluded ovarian cancer as an option that they then will diagnose a primary peritoneal cancer. There aren't even figures for how few people there are with primary peritoneal. There are 5 gynaecological cancers. Does everybody know which gynaecological cancers there are? No. So there's ovarian, vulval, vaginal, and womb cancer, and the 5th one is cervical cancer. And cervical cancer is the only one that where we've got screening, which allows us to prevent cancers from occurring. But all of the other 4 don't. And the problem with those cancers is that because the side effects are the side effects only show when it's very late on in the illness, and they are also different for different people. So when I went to the doctor, it was August, and I went for I had cystitis. Well, I thought I had cystitis, and it ended up that I had a urinary tract infection. And then I got some antibiotics, and all of a sudden I had really great pain here, stabbing pain, like somebody had a screwdriver that they were shoving under my ribs, and it made it really difficult to breathe. And there were other little symptoms that I'd neglected. I got really, really fatigued. I remember helping out on a boot camp for a week, and there was one abdominal exercise where I was lying on a Swiss ball, and I couldn't do it. And I thought, God, my abs are like they're good abs. They were good abs. They were good abs. There was a good core, and I couldn't do it. And all the other ladies on the retreat said, well, if Luke can't do it, then there's no way that we can. And I thought that there's something weird here. And then I had some bleeding, which was just out of the ordinary, and basically, and then I felt really, really sick. And they thought I had an inflamed liver. There was nothing showing on any of the blood tests for, well, I had new blood tests every week. Basically, I stopped going to the NHS and went to a private doctor, went to a gastroenterologist, and then from September through to the 4th of December, I was having blood tests and CT scans, MRIs, biopsies, and ultrasounds pretty much every week to try and establish what it was. And when I got diagnosed on my birthday, my GPs actually had never even heard of my cancer. Four GPs in my surgery had never heard of my cancer. So it was it was understandable that they didn't know what it was when they saw me. So the important thing is to say, if you have anything that's out of the ordinary and you know your body better than anyone, go to the doctor, and if they try and fob you off, if you're ill, just keep on going. And because basically with what I was going to say was with ovarian cancers and primary peritoneal cancer, because the symptoms are only shown at such a late stage, people normally, about 75% of cases are diagnosed at stage 3 or stage 4 of 4. And mine was stage 4 when I got diagnosed, which meant that it had spread from this part to my lymph nodes in my chest. According to the statistics, at stage 4, historically speaking, there's basically a 70% risk of dying within 5 years of getting cancer. Now, I don't want you to get depressed or cry and all of that, because basically the statistics are there to help us show how important it is that we raise the money to do the research, to actually find ways of predicting the cancer, how to prevent it, how to do early screening, and also how to improve the care, the different treatments that we can offer to cancer patients. And the thing, Jules had said, can I talk about positive mental attitude? And basically, even though that's quite a grim statistic, I never actually asked my oncologist, and she never told me. And that's a really good way of working, because actually when I did say, somebody has asked me what my chances are, and she said, all you need to know is I have plenty of people who have had the treatment I'm going to give you that are living walking examples that this treatment works, and that's all you need to know. And I was really happy with that, because the statistics are only historical fact. They're not what's going to happen in the future, and every person is an individual. We're not statistics. And so one of our friends, one of our closest friends, his wife Becky, she passed away in April, the year that I got diagnosed, and she was 33, and she was a doctor, and she got diagnosed with breast cancer too late. But the one thing that they both passed on is everybody has their own journey, and what happens to other people does not have to happen to you. And so basically through healthy eating and fitness and really lots of positive mental attitude, I managed to beat the cancer in April last year. Unfortunately, it came back, and now I've basically had another round of 6 months of chemo, and the cancer has reduced significantly, which is really good. And that's the thing I wanted to say, that this journey of having cancer is it's a very bumpy road, and life is very bumpy, and cancer is just another part of that bumpy road. But the thing that Mike and I do is basically we just took Simon's words that he said to us, which was basically if you have more, you recognise the downs that you have, and if they are really shit, say it out loud, because you need to recognise them. But then when you have ups, it doesn't matter how small, just count them and celebrate them as much as you can. Like today, I've not done the circuit training session for I don't know how long. So to me, that's my PMA for today. I've actually achieved something really, really big doing those kettlebells today. And so that's my message, and some more of those messages are on those posters that are going to be on the high street. The one thing that I really take courage in is that we celebrate those winnings, don't we? Mm-hmm. And what I find so amazing is that thanks to support like yours for causes like this, basically we've now got treatments that we didn't have. So when Becky got diagnosed with her breast cancer, she said in the 3 years that they'd given her 6 to 18 months to live, and she lived for 3 years. And she said in that time there were developments in medicines and treatments that that weren't available when she got first diagnosed that prolonged her life. And for me, it's very poignant, and I'm going to hand over to Amanda because there's a really big link between the gynaecological cancers and the research that the field do and the research that breakthrough breast cancer do, because you might all have heard about Angelina Jolie or Michelle Heaton, who had prophylactic surgery because they found out that they had a gene mutation for BRCA1 or BRCA2, which basically increases their risk of breast or gynaecological cancers. It also increases the risk of prostate cancer if you've got BRCA2 specifically. So if you have that, then obviously I think the risk, if you've got BRCA1, I think the risk of breast cancer is something like 50 to 90%, and the risk of getting getting a gynecological cancer is like 40 to 60% before you're 50, which is obviously really significant. But the research there's basically an overlap in the research that is done. The research that's in the EVAPIL fund at the Department for Women's Health at UCLH is overlapping with what breakthrough breast cancer do, and they're looking at indicators for BRCA1 and 2, and they found that there are certain things that they can do that the research that the field have just done have actually identified something that will help people with breast cancer because of that gene mutation. But for me specifically, what I think is really fantastic is it's moving so quickly that the different treatments. I basically, when I got told in September that the cancer, that was the end of the chemotherapy, and I got told then that there are options if we'll put you on a maintenance treatment for now to get your strength back before we put you on more chemo. And then when I came back last week, the oncologist said actually there's a trial for PARP-inhibitors, which is something that Breakthrough Breast Cancer, their research team have actually identified, which is now being trialled for people with gynaecological cancer, and hopefully I'll be able to benefit from that. So just in 2 months, there's been a development that's going to benefit me as a cancer survivor. I hate that word. But yeah, so I thank you all for being here, because it's because all of you are here, that lovely people like my friends at the hospital that I've got to know are living for long.